Hi everyone. In Hackerrank series, now we are going to discuss about dynamic array in C. This is the last programming array sum strings concept, and how we are going to solve it. If you solve this one, you got 40 marks, but here I got 10 more points. I got some 4-star here. Okay, now moving into the question. First of all, we have to understand what is the question here. These are in this question there are some number of queries are there, three number of queries. That means if the query is going to be start with 1, 2 or 3, if it is started with 1, what we have to do, we have to insert a book in with y pages at the end of x shelf. For example, in some big box is there, in that box there are number of shelves are there. First shelf is going to be placed with 0. The name is going to be 0th shelf. The first shelf is 0th shelf and first is the second shelf, like that. We have to put a book of y pages. For example, 100 pages of book I am going to place in 0th shelf, means that is going to be, for example, 1, some 2 and some 100. What is this means? I am going to put 100 pages of book in second shelf. Okay, like this. For example, 0th shelf, I am going to put 100 pages of book in 0th shelf, like this. And 2xy means print the number of pages of in the white book in the x shelf. For example, here some shelves are there, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are number of shelves are there. In that number of shelves there are number of books is there. First book, second book, third book, like this. In this, here 2 books are there, here 1 book is there, here 2 books are there, here 3 books are there. In each shelf there are number of books are there. For the first book there is a number of pages. For every book there is number of pages is there, like this. Here I am going to print if the query is 2xy, print the number of pages in a white book in x shelf. For example, the query is like this. The query is 2, 0 and 2. That means here I am going to print in the 0th shelf. I am going to print the number of pages of book 2. What is this? How many pages are there? 23 pages are there. We have to print 23 for this input. Okay. Then next one, 3x, number of books in the x shelf. For example, it is going to be 3 and 2. 3 and 2. How many books in the second shelf? How many books in the second shelf here? 1 and 2. That means 2 books are in the shelf 2. We have to print 2 is the output here. I think the queries are explained good. I think you understand good. I think. And here the total number of books we have to take as a int star total number of books. This stores the total number of books in each shelf. Total number of pages, this stores the total number of pages in each book of each shelf. The input format, what is the input format here? This is the input format 5 5, and there are the number of queries here. 5 means this book contains this box contains 5 shelves. This box contains 5 shelves. Okay, like this. And here, what is 5 here? 5 means total number of queries. I am going to give some number of queries. This is 1 query, second, third, fourth, fifth. These are the number of queries we have to handle with this. Initially, this is containing only 5 shelves, like this. There is no shelves. First of all, these are the 5 shelves. Based on this one, we have to find out the output. Just observe the explanation. 1 0 15 means I have to place 15 page book. That means one book I am going to print width of 15 pages. of 15 pages. Okay. Then again 1 0 20. That means I am going to place one book with in the shelf 0 of pages 20. Okay. Then 1 to 17. That means I am going to put a book on shelf 2. I am going to put one book with a page of 78. Okay. Then it is going to be print 220. That means I am going to print what is in the second shelf. Second shelf book 0. What is the first book in the second shelf? That is how many number of pages inside it? That is going to be 78. That's why it is going to be print 78 here. Then 30. 30 means how many books in the shelf 0? There are 2 books. Then the output is going to be 2 here. Okay. In this way, this program is going to be work here. Just observe the output here, output format. The logic for the requests of type 2 and type 3 are already provided in the question. We have to write the request for type 1 only. Already the program, just if you go for the program here, if the query type is 1, we have to write the code. Type 2 already write all the code, and type 3 also it is already mentioned here. Okay, everything is done here, but we have to write the type 1 only. Just look at in the global declaration, these two variables are already taken here, total number of books and total number of pages. There is no need to write that declaration part, but we have to give the dynamic memory allocation for this number of books. First of all, based on the number of shelves, I am going to declare number of books in the each shelf. First of all, number of queries is there. After number of queries, I am going to write here number of books dynamic memory allocation. Total number of books is equal to I am going to write a int star malloc of size of int star total number of shelves. I am going to declare this. Total number of books is equal to, I am going to allocate the memory for total number of books. For every book, there is a number of pages, right? There are the number of pages. For that also, I am going to take here total number of pages is equal to int star star. That means I am going to allocate for every book. For every book, I am going to allocate. That's why I am going to take double pointer here. malloc of size of int star into total number of shelves. I am going to allocate the memory like this. But here I am going to allocate the memory for every book. I am going to allocate memory for every shelf. For every shelf, I am going to allocate zeros first of all, right? I am going to allocate 0 here, and I am going to allocate 0 here. That means 0 books, 0 books, 0 books, 0 books. For that, I am going to take one for loop here. For I is equal to 0, I am going to int I is equal to 0, I less than total shelves I plus plus. I am going to write the, for every shelf I am going to declare total books of I is equal to 0 here, is equal to 0. Then for every book also there are the number of pages we have to allocate it. For every book we have to allocate some memory, right? That's why I'm going to write again total number of pages of I is equal to int star malloc of size of int. I'm going to write malloc of size of int like this. That means I'm going to allocate. This is some garbage where we don't know exactly how many pages for each book. Based on that, we are giving. Then we have to reallocate the size of the each book. Okay. First of all, we have to initialize all the books to how many books in each shelf. It is going to be 0, 0 here, and we have to take all the shelves is going to be 0 books. There is no books at all, right? I am going to take like this, and here I am going to write for type 1 query. For the type 1 query, we have to write we have to insert a book into the shelf, right? We have to put a book into the shelf. For that, if the type query, I am going to write a number of books of x plus equal to 1, equal to 1. Why I am writing here total number of books of x? X means it is going to be shelf, right? For example, x is going to be 0. I am going to write here total number of books of x. That means in this I am going to plus 1. How many books here? Total number of books is going to be 1 now. If it is another book, then I am going to increment it. The total number of books count is going to be 1 here. That's why I am going to increment the total number of books. Now I am going to place how many pages of that book. How many pages of that book? I am going to allocate some memory here. I am going to allocate some memory. Total number of pages. Total number of pages of x for that book. For that book, I am going to allocate some memory. For that, I am going to reallocate it. Reallocate of total underscore total number of pages. First of all, I am going to reallocate it. Total number of pages of x, comma. This is the previous input. This is the previous size of that one, and now I am going to allocate total number of books of x. Total number of books of x into size of integer. Size of integer. Size of integer. Just I am going to reallocate the memory for that. For that book, I am going. How many pages it is? How many pages it is? I am going to write here total number of pages of x. For that shelf, I am going to write what is the total number of books on that? Books of x minus 1. X minus 1 is equal to y here. I am going to allocate the memory like this. That's it, nothing else. I am going to run the code now. Yes, the sample test case is going to be finished. What I am doing here, I am going to allocate the memory for that. First of all, I am going to allocate the memory, and then I am going to give the values here. For example, if I am going to submit the code, here I am going to initialize. First of all, I am going to initialize just some garbage value. That's it, nothing else. I am not allocating the actual memory for each pages of the book. I don't know exactly. That's why when I am going to allocate here, just look at I got some 4-star. That's why it is giving like this. Just look at I got some 4-star here. What I am doing here, I am allocating the memory again. I am allocating the memory again for that particular book. How many pages are there? I am going to write this query. Y belongs to total number of pages of x. For that book, I am going to go for the shelf here, and I am going to allocate the memory here. How many pages here? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. And this is the only code, and we have to write and these two lines also we have to write, not these two lines, we have to write like this, these lines, and we have to write these lines also to execute it. Okay, thank you very much. Just understand the question again, just read the question again, and we have to try to solve it. Okay, thank you guys.